What's going on? How's everybody doing out there on this wonderful day? So this past weekend I was doing some bass fishing at one of my all-time favorite places, which is like this hidden pond up in the woods that me and my buddy have access to. It was pretty crazy, and I realized that I was pretty low on one of my favorite color stick baits. No, it is not the Dukes. It is one of my other favorite colors, which is called Okeechobee Magic. Yes, very popular color out there. I'm going to tell you my recipe. I've got my recipe book out, and we're going to go over it real fast. I don't put too many recipes in this book, but when I find a color that really works, it gets into my recipe book. So, Okeechobee Magic, the top color is a laminate. The top color is LureWorks 156 green pumpkin right there. You want to put, this is in 1 cup of Plastisol from Dead On Plastic, and it is in worm blend. I don't know if I said that yet. So you want to put 35 drops of that, and then in the glitter you want to put 0.040 black and gold, 1/4 teaspoon of each, and then you want to put 0.015 gold glitter, 1/16 of a teaspoon for that one, and that color is done. Now on the blue side, I use Dead On Plastics, just blue. I do 25 drops in that 1 cup of Plastisol, and then you put 0.040 blue glitter, 1/4 teaspoon of that, 0.015 blue glitter, 1/16 of a teaspoon in that one, and 0.015 of silver glitter, 1/4 teaspoon. So it's got a lot of silver in it, and that to me makes one of the perfect Okeechobee Magic. So we are going to, like I said, we're going to shoot some stick baits. I am going to put salt in them. We are going to use these. These are the Wacky mold rigs. I've got a bunch of them made. If you've ever seen that mold out there, we're not going to shoot the mold tonight, but I will show it to you. I have it here, right here beside me. So it's this mold that does like 16 of a section of the 5-inch stick baits from Anglin AI, and then you lay it in there, and it's supposed to help you like keep your hook set in there, not tear it up and stuff like that. Now on this side, you can see it has 2 bars there. Once you shoot the plastic, you take the bar out, if I can get it, take the bar out, slide them all off, and then you can break them off and use them. And I actually make a bunch of them when I'm running low, because this mold does take time to shoot, so I just make a bunch of them at one time. So like I said, we are going to shoot the stick bait 5-inch, and I have that mold right here. Let me open it up here. Right there it is. So one of my favorite go-to molds, one of my favorite go-to baits. So I got the Plastisol sitting right there. It's already been vacuumed once. We're going to stick it in the microwave, and we'll make one of the colors here in just a minute. We'll make the other color, and then we'll start laminating these 5-inch stick baits. Alright everybody, so I said in the recipe I put 40 drops in this. We're going to do 35 and see where that gets us. I think the last time I done this, I might have been a little too dark. Yeah, that's going to be better. So it's going to be 35 instead of 40. Alright, so we have got our LureWorks Green Pumpkin 156 there. And we're going to put 1/4 teaspoon and 1/16 of a teaspoon. Let me get my 1/16 out here. There we go. Okay. So I need to grab the other gold here. I got a little behind here. There we go. All right, since this is the since this is the 40 gold, we'll do 1/4 teaspoon of it. Just like that. Clean that spoon off. Then we're going to do the 1/16 of a teaspoon of gold in small. Clean that one off. And then we're going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of black in medium. Clean that spoon off too. Alright, that should give us our one side of our Okeechobee. Well, I guess we just have Okie. We still got to make Chobe. Scrape the sides. And would you look at that? Just by itself, that's a great color. Look at that. Nice. Alright, let's put the blue side in, and then we'll make that. Well, everybody, I almost forgot to put salt in this. So let me get my little scooper out here. A little less than 1/4 cup into a 1 cup of Plastisol. All right. I hope that didn't cool down too much. It probably did. Yeah, we're gonna probably have to heat this up pretty good. There we go. We'll get that all mixed up in there. There we go. Now we got this side done. Now we're gonna make the other side. Alright everybody, there's 25 drops of Dead On Plastics blue, and it makes this awesome color blue. Check that out. Look at that on the spoon. Woo, that's good looking. Alright, so we need a 1/4 teaspoon of medium blue. Right in there. Look at that blue on that spoon. It's just a good color. We need another 1/4 teaspoon of small silver. And then we're going to put a 1/16 teaspoon of small blue. And that's going to give our other side of Okeechobee Magic. There we go. Clean that spoon off. Let's mix this all up and see what we got here. Oh yeah. Check that out. Woo! And then we're going to come over here to the bucket of salt. See? Just right below the line there. Dump that in. Put that back in there. Then we're going to stir this salt in. Get it all nice and in there. And there we go. Look at that. And then as we heat this back up, that salt will dissolve a lot better. And that's what we're going to do now. Then we're going to vacuum them. And then we're going to start shooting some Okeechobee Magic. Alright everybody, we have got these up to temperature 347 and 346. There is no top or bottom when it comes to stick baits for this color. Alright, let's see here. Got that one. And the reason I'm shooting a little hotter is I wanted to mold to that Wacky rig clear in there. And we'll top that one off. And then we'll return this excess there. And we'll let them cool down for a little bit. And peek inside and see how this Okeechobee Magic turned out. Alright everybody, let's take a look at these baits and see how they came out. So. Oh, look at that. The green pumpkin side looks pretty good. Heck yeah, we can see the blue sneaking around the sides there. You ready? Oh, what a color. I love it. See that little clear spot right there on it? That's that Wacky rig in there. Yeah, looking good. All turned out great. I will take them every day of the week. Alright, let's take a look at these ones. Same mold. Oh, that one did not come out very pretty as far as staying in the mold. Let me fix this. Look at that. Looks pretty good. Put that back. We'll do this one from the side. Oh yeah. What a sweet, sweet color. If you haven't made this color, I highly recommend it. It does catch the bass, at least up here in West Virginia where I live. Look at that. Woo! I'll take that every day of the week. Let's get a handful here. What do you think? I'll take him. Alright, so we have some left over here. So instead of shooting the same Okeechobee Magic again, I thought we would put a little twist on this. So let me get a couple of things out and I'll show you what we're going to do with our leftover plastic. Alright everybody, I'm getting these molds ready for the next round. So before we pick what we're going to put in the Okeechobee, I thought I'd show you these. So I got a container full of these. This is that Wacky rig mold I was telling you about there. This is what they make. So this is the egg sacs right here in the middle. and you put it right after the egg sac, right where your hook would go if you were wacky rigging this, just like that. And they got like a little bit of a cone top on them, so you see that? And you just place them down in here. And how I keep these from you know, getting stuck to each other is after I make a bunch of these, I just add a little bit of worm oil in there, shake them up, and I put them on the shelf with the glitter. And when I'm making some 5-inch stick baits, I get them out and I load up my molds. There we go, that one's ready to go. Then you just take the top, close it, put the knobs back in, and that one's ready for round 2. All right, everybody, we have got our leftovers here, and I want to spice up this Okeechobee Magic color. We got plenty left over. I have pulled down some 8-bit bait products. So on the green pumpkin side, I want to put some crushed rupees in gold on that, and I want to put this scorpion siren scales on that side. And then on the blue side, I'm going to do some silver crushed rupees, and I'm going to put some Sub-Zero in there. This should really spice up this Okeechobee Magic color and look really awesome. So let's put this back in the microwave, get it cooked. We'll do the green pumpkin side first, then we'll do the blue, and then we'll shoot the mold again. All right, everybody, this is back up to temperature here, nice and recycled. And let's put a 1/4 teaspoon of each of these in there. So let's put a 1/4 teaspoon of crushed rupees. There we go. Get in there, get in there. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm already digging it. I haven't even mixed it in yet. And then we are going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of this Sub-Zero siren scales. Oh, look at that. That should do it. Nice and slowly. Don't breathe. All right. All right, let's mix that in there and see how this looks. Chop it up a little bit. Are you ready? Oh. Oh yeah, look at that. Still, crushed rupees are, the siren scales are a little too big. We're gonna stir them up pretty good. Stir the edges. Now let's take a look. Look at that. That looks awesome. Yes. All right, let's get the blue done. All right, everyone, we have got this one back up to temperature, and now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put a 1/4 teaspoon of these crushed rupees in silver. Yep, just like that. Clean off the spoon. And then we're going to do some Sub-Zero siren scales, which should really make this stuff pop. Man, look at that color. It is just awesome. That's a big scoop. We're going for it. All right, we got the cap back on. Let's mix this up and see what it looks like. Whoa. Stir it up a little bit more. Look at that. Wow, that is just crazy. All right, let's get both these back up to temperature. Let's make these baits. All right, everybody, we're at 345 and 342, and I think that's going to be just fine. Hold a little bit of pressure on there. Top it off. A little bit of pressure on that one. Top it off. Top that one off. All right, we're gonna let them sit in there for a little bit, and then we're gonna peek in there and take a good look at them. Also, like always, we are using our SGD Multi Block. Can't say enough about this. It does make shooting laminates a heck of a lot easier. I will definitely leave a link for it down in the description below. Alright, topped off. We'll let them cool down, then we'll take a look at these. Alright everybody, let's take a look at these. One of my favorite things to do is take a popular color like Okeechobee Magic and add 8-bit bait products to it. It's just awesome to see what you can do with a popular color that you know works, but you want to see if you can make it better. And that's what we're trying to do this evening. We're trying to see if we can make Okeechobee any better than it already was. And don't get me wrong, by itself, it's pretty awesome. But now we're about to see what else we can do with it. Oh, come out of there. Oh, wow. Look at that. Woo-wee. Oh, we got the blue side up this time. Let's see how the green side looks. Oh, wow. We got to get a close up to that. Check that out. Wow, that looks awesome. Look at that. Woo! Those are awesome, awesome. Heck yeah. Whoa! Well, that knob has left the chat. Went to the floor, but we'll get it here in just a little bit. Blue side up. This time again. Fix these a little bit. Alright. Another good one. Oh man, that Siren scales look good on that green pumpkin side. Look at that. Wow. Awesome. I may have to add Siren scales and crushed rupees to the recipe book for Okeechobee Magic. Look at that. That looks pretty awesome. Wow, look at all those dancing in there. That's why I didn't put 40 drops in this. I wanted to be a little bit of see-through on that because I knew those Siren scales, so you can see how deep they are down inside that bait. And then the blue side just goes on for miles too. Wow, that's awesome. Take another look at that. Look at that. That looks amazing. Sweet. Alright everybody, that is going to do it for this. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. This is Triple C Fishing. I'm Triple C. Tell your friends, tell your family about us. We're having so much fun. Hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Give it a share. And leave me a comment down below. Tell me which one was your favorite bait that we made this evening. I think they both came out looking pretty good, but I cannot wait to get that new style of Okeechobee out there to the river or a pond or even a lake and see if it can catch a fish and see if it's just as good as the original Okeechobee Magic. So, but that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate watching, but before we go, let's take a look at these baits.